Hi, Basha.
Wonderful. If so if you're on the call, one of the things that would be super amazing is if you have video capability to put on your video. That way we could really all see each other and connect through the eyes, which is really nice. And if you don't want to, that's cool too. You could keep us in the background. That's fine. It's nice to see everybody. Cool. Okay. Welcome. So I'm assuming everybody here's a light bug. Is there anyone on this call who is not in Light the Grid? No, great. Okay, so you're all light bugs. So, John, are you a light bug?
I'm in the group, yes. I've just joined recently, though, so I'm new.
You're new light bug. Great. Welcome. Welcome to the welcome to the grid. Wonderful. Let me. Does anyone need it? Okay, great. I'm going to keep Facebook open just to see if people need help on things. Otherwise, I would have shut it off. So, welcome to our new reality. Hello, everyone who is a coach who thought they knew how to do the thing. All the rules have changed. Ta-da! Surprise! So I'm really glad that you're all here because this is not, oh, okay. So I'm going to pontificate for a little bit. And whoever is on 415 on the phone, I'm going to mute you. So I'm going to mute everyone. So things I know about how to do things on Zoom is for those of you who are kind of new to Zoom or haven't used it a lot, there's a kind of Zoom etiquette thing where if you aren't speaking, keep yourself on mute. Just because like you can't really know if you shift your papers on your desk, it'll make static or there'll be like a fire truck that goes by or whatever. So generally just mute until you're talking and then unmute, which is great. And if you could be on video, that'd be awesome. So I'm going to pontificate a little bit and give you all my thoughts on what's going on here and ideas that I have. I'll kind of start with mindset stuff and then I'll go into strategy stuff and try and be as specific as I can, you know, like there'll be the kind of the umbrella overarching stuff and there's like, here's specific stuff. But just keep in mind, I don't know what the fuck is going on either. You know, it's happening with everybody. It is new. This has never been seen before. I mean, within our lifetimes. So this is our second wisdom call in Light the Grid. And if you know on the units on the left-hand side, if you haven't been there, go there. There's so much in there that's been accumulating over the years. Different types of content, I guess. So there's already been a wisdom call. And this is our second one. The idea with these is that I've got some ideas and stuff, but really as a collective group, we have a lot more wisdom together than I do on my own. So after I give my spiel on what I think is going on, I'm going to open this up and we're going to have a conversation, and all of us here are leaders and all of us here know things and have resources and have skill sets. For example, Erica. She's got the technical deal, right? I'm gonna super be like, yeah, can you post a link to whatever that you just did? Maybe a recording, would you be willing to share so that we all know how to do stuff on Zoom better? Because we're all gonna be, right? So we're resourcing each other. And together we're gonna figure this out. We really, really, really absolutely will. Okay, cool. So
Christina will also be able to send people into small group breakout rooms. So maybe after you share, I can send people into groups with like four or five people, and then people can share and we can bring them back.
Yeah, maybe not. If we're still at 20 something, I think I'm okay with this number of people. But thank you. Yes, I know that's an option. Thank you for offering. All right. So does some of you may know, have seen me talk about this, but about a year ago, I kind of had this download thing, and I created this manifesto, and I've been running events around it. So there's my work that I do with coaches, which is a lot of my business at the moment, but then there's this other body of work that's kind of being there that is really my body of work. and I've been doing all sorts of things around it, but it's kind of on standby in the background. Created this manifesto called the Edgewalker Manifesto, because that's how the things I know about how to do things and how to live a life are basically how to live a life on the edge, and how to create a life for yourself that is edgy so that you grow and all the good things happen. And so there's this whole thing here. And wouldn't you know it, the world, the universe, decided to give the entire population a very edgy scenario on that we all have to kind of rise to and live through and thrive through. That all of a sudden, a lot of the things in here are very pertinent to that. And the one that stands out the most, I think, is most important for all of us, is embrace uncertainty like a surfer does waves. There's so much uncertainty right now. We just don't know. And we can, after the initial shock, holy shit, what's happening? Experience, which is really relevant, right? And it's across the world, it's coming in at different times for people. So wherever you are and whatever is going on for you, it may be that, well, everything's still fine, nothing's changed that much yet. It may be that you're just cresting into, whoa, there's a lockdown. It's like the National Guard is in the streets. And it may be, that's already happened. I'm starting to adjust to that. Okay, this is the new normal. Wherever on that curve is, that's kind of the thing that's going on all over the place. What I'm noticing for myself is that the quicker you can release, let go, any sense of needing to control or needing things to look like and be like what they were before, the quicker you can relax and just not feel anxious anymore. I think how do I keep the structures being how that was then into the future? You can't. It's a completely different thing. There's a surrendering to the wave in a way, and kind of flowing with it. All right, now what? Let it change under your feet, the shifting sands. Don't react to that with be like, okay, now what? Now what? And our businesses are really going to be feeling it. I wrote myself some notes that I'm going to go through to make sure I don't miss anything. But that's the first important thing. Let go of having it to be similar to in the past. Something really new needs to be created by all of us. I learned in a very intense moment once, I'm going to just go there with you all, even though you may not know me. I was in a very intense moment in a hotel, in the midst of a very scary and traumatizing sexual assault many years ago. And in that moment, thanks to all the personal development work I had done to that time, I thought to myself, how do I get through this? I may get killed. So that's, assuming I live, how do I experience this insanity right now and fear and terror and violence that's happening to me in a way that I don't need to go to therapy for 10 years on the other side of it? And in that moment, somehow, thank God for all the personal development training, thank God we're all coaches, we've had it. It was like, I can't dip into victim. I can't. If I do that as it's happening to me, I'm fucked. I got 10 years of therapy ahead of me. So I'm not going to be a victim, even though something outside of my control is happening to my body, right? And it was this decision, clearly in the words, the only thought allowed in my brain right now, the only thought I'm going to let myself think right now is, what do I do next? So in every second, it was like a second by second thing. Craziness was, chaos was happening, right? You get the metaphor, I'm hoping, right? Things are changing dramatically in front of us. We don't know how, right? Moment by moment, the only thought aloud was, what do I do next? If I move my foot this way, do I get more leverage? If I say this, does anything happen? If I La 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 la, what about if I did this? Now what? And it was 45 minutes of like, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And I ended up getting myself out of that scenario by surprisingly surrendering to it, which is all trippy, and that's a whole nother story. But that ability to be with the chaos, to be with the uncertainty and the change, the rapidly changing reality, and having that mindset of like, okay, what do I do next, is extremely powerful and very available. And that kind of like victim owner thing, right? That Steve Chandler talks a lot about. So how can you be an owner of your business, right? Of your home life? How can you be that leader right now? And how can you teach others that mindset to be a leader right now? Which doesn't mean don't feel your feelings and don't feel the fear, and create spaces for yourself and with people where you can really have those as well and honor that. But you really, really can. I'm really calling that out in you. Okay, what do I do next? I can't leave my house now. All right, do I have enough toilet paper? Do I have enough food? What about my parents? I can't get to them. What do I do next? All of my red appointments, all just canceled. Okay, I could freak out about that. But for just a second, what do I do now? How do I stay creative here? Gregory Bateson, for some of you who know who he is, that's awesome. If you don't know who he is, I say go research him. He's one of the greatest thinkers of our time. He did some research and some studies on systems in terms of how to make a system work really, really well. What's the difference between the systems that work really well and the ones that kind of like, even if you know what you're doing, kind of go murmur. And he found that for optimally working systems, there needs to be a part of the system that's worried. So any kind of worry or anxiety or caring of like, I don't know what's going to, I really need it, is actually great. You need it for optimal performance. The key is that it can't be the main part of the system. It can't be what's driving your actions, right? If fear is driving you, you won't be making the best decisions and choices for your business. So resource yourself in the ways that you need to have something else, the light, right? Remember that you're the light. Find that power, find that warrior place within you. And the warrior place within you may very much be the place of stillness, right? Call upon all the things you've learned up until now on how to be the center of the storm. And it's okay that there's a little part that's worried that you need it, right? Good. Let's see what else. There is peril, right? A lot of things are going to fall away. People are going to die. Major humongo companies are going to go broke. There will be bankruptcies. People are losing their jobs, right? Beyond that, ways of being are going to shift, right? A lot of people are going to go through kind of breakdown versus breakthrough moments. This is a catalyst of change for pretty much everybody. If they want, for a lot of people, some people are just fine and will coast them, but a lot of people, we have the opportunity to insert ourselves in that moment. So when someone comes to that crossroad, it's like, is this thing going to take me out, or is this thing going to grow me? We're the ones that are really well suited to help them go this way. That's our job right now, is to help as many people as we can break through. Use this as a breakthrough, including ourselves. I've been talking with a lot of coaches, since my business is very much working with coaches. Right? I work with a lot of coaches. That something that I've seen, it was one of my clients, actually. I don't know if she's on the call right now or not. She voiced it, and I'm so excited that she voiced it, because I was guiltily feeling it too, but didn't want to say it. Besides this being a time of whoa, right? For those of us that are edge walkers, or not, however I don't know if you know what that is or not, but there's a way that this, put your hand up if this is true for you. Is there a way that this is a little bit thrilling? This is kind of exciting. Anybody? Right? Like, and isn't it kind of like a little guilty thing in the background? It's like, I shouldn't be enjoying this. I should be kind of like, I don't know, maybe that's just me. But there's something really exciting about the rules don't work anymore. Because now it's the mystery of it. Now we're in the middle of this game. Who knows what this game is, right? New rules. Whoa. We're on kind of this adventure now. We're in the movie. We're not watching the movie. We're actually in the movie. And because the rules haven't been written, we can write the rules, right? Like, we are actually poised to create our own realities right now, even more than usual. The bounds, the boxes, they're all kind of like, I don't know, right? If one of you happened to come up with the best, most exciting thing ever that's never existed before, now is a really good time for people to be receptive to that. Come up within your field, with the people that you serve, within our industry, come up with the best, most coolest thing ever for coaches, right? Or for coaching, or for your niche that you serve. Now people will pay attention in a way they never would have before, right? We're in the middle of this game. How are you going to play the game? It's actually kind of really fun. And get your shit handled, right? So I don't want anything that I'm saying to sound spiritually bypassy. Watch out for that. Okay, it is not all love and light. This is also very serious. My parents are in their 70s. They're in Canada. I can't get to them. I wouldn't even want to, because I was been coughing with a fever all week anyway, and I hope they don't die. Like, this is serious. Get your marbles in a row, right? Get anchored, solid ground. Like, make sure you do that. This isn't a joke. But also, multiple truths at the same time. How are you going to play this game? Before I start giving you concrete stuff, there is a call right now. I don't know if you can hear it or not. There's a calling for you to do what you do best. I hope, has anyone heard it? It's like, now is our moment. Now is your moment. You've been training this whole time. You didn't know it, but sometime long ago, months ago, years ago, whenever it was that you decided you were going to be a coach, whether it was on purpose or not, some higher intelligence or your soul, or maybe it's just a coincidence, puts you on a path of developing yourself to a level of mastery that there's going to be a moment in the future, which is happening right now, that the world freaking needs you hardcore. Hardcore. Right now. It's not kind of a joke anymore. It really, you are being called to step into this thing that you chose fully. It's a summons. Okay. Fully. There are going to be coaches who totally crash and burn right now. Absolutely. That's going to happen. There are going to be coaches who come out on the other side of this with humongous communities, so much love and trust and affection and super fans and just reams of clients. Which one of those coaches are you going to be? And it's going to matter how you show up right now. So if you've been sort of, part-time coachy vibe, or I'm sort of dabbling in this a little bit here and there, or, I'm not quite sure, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, or taking it kind of slow for whatever reason, I don't think that's going to work, to be honest. I don't think that's going to work. People are holding on to their discretionary spending now. It's just because of all the flux, kind of like in, out, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. that vibe is not the leader vibe that the people are looking for. But if you already have, or if you're ready to just put on your superhero outfit or be a Viking or whatever that thing was that called you, now's the moment. If you can do that, 200%, I think there are major opportunities for us in this business right now. Major, major, major. It's up to you how you want to hold that torch. Something I want to put in the room right now is examples, so that you take out any seed of any kind of limiting belief that you have that people won't purchase coaching, won't invest in coaching right now. So I have a client who, is she on here? Do I see her? I don't see her. She's in Italy. She's in Milan. She was one of the first people locked down who wasn't in China. Like, she's been under lockdown for like, and she's the one that's kind of ahead of the curve, telling me on what psychologically kind of to expect. She signed 3 clients in a row this week and last week. Like, it was like Friday, Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever. It was like 3 days in a row, signed a client, signed a client, signed a client. From within crazy lockdown in the middle of Italy, she like a week ahead of where we're at here in the States. One of my really good friends, Mark Silverman, some of you know of him, he just signed a $14,000 client last week. I have an apprentice who I work with, who's totally baller, who didn't slow down, who has a calendar full, like a week full of red appointments. People are not canceling. Like, she's on it. Like, it's just business as usual, serving people who she's ready to possibly propose to. Still, it's just full on. It hasn't slowed down. I had a call on Monday with a woman who I met at a conference 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or whatever. Totally just was serving her. She just handed in her notice. She was leaving her job. She wasn't pursuing whatever. She doesn't know what's going on, and all of a sudden Corona's happening, etc. I super served her. Totally assumed this was like going to be I'm helping the world call. At the end of which she was like, I really, really like this call. How can I work with you? I was doing it as a throwaway. It wasn't going to be a client call, right? People are looking for coaching. So whatever you have in your mind that it's not possible, it is. It's out there. You're fine. You're going to be fine. People are investing in coaching. Okay. 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 And moving on to strategy a little. There's going to be a slowdown. That's okay. That's normal. Expect a slowdown, right? There is a pacing right now of shock, disbelief, the stages of grief. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? The stock markets are trembling. What's happening to my home values, et cetera, et cetera. That's fine. If you can expect that, it won't freak you out. So prep yourself for it. Just be smart about it. And it's going to come back. So during this time of slowdown and security, the vibe is mega, mega, mega service. So if you notice, if you've been watching your emails, whatever lists you've been part of, whether it's EverCoach or other coaches or other people who have all sorts of offerings, we're all on like a gajillion email lists, right? Just watch what's coming into your email box. No one right now is really asking for money, right? No one right now is really putting an offer out there that's kind of like, give me money, right? Like, here's my thing. You can buy it now for la la la. Like, that's not the vibe right now. The vibe right now is, hello, community. I really care about you. What do you need? Here are some resources I have for you. This is the time to go overboard on service. Do it. Don't be scared. Do it. And just pay attention. So pay attention to the trends, pay attention to the vibes, pay attention to what's coming into your email box, and then notice how you feel when certain different kinds of messagings come along. and model yourself along the ones that feel good to you. Okay. Once the settling has happened and that adaptation has happened to some degree, where people are like, they got their legs under them a little bit, like, okay, the world has changed, then don't hold back from promoting. So there's going too far forward, and then there's like holding back too much. And I personally have been in a stance where, like, I'm ready to start enrolling Hatch 15, and I haven't talked about it in like the grid, right? So for those of you who've been in the group for a while, you see, right, every now and then it's like the new one's coming, yay, the new people, yay, la la la. I haven't done that because it hasn't felt like it's a good time for that right now. But also I'm just sort of shy and scared and holding back on that. I'm telling you this because I'm telling myself this. There's going to be a right moment for that, for me to put it out there. And my somehow fear, I got to get out of the way. There's a real estate agent who I saw a post that she wrote on Facebook somewhere. And she said that in the real estate business, in the real estate market in 2008, she said a lot of real estate agents were making a lot of money, even though it was the big bust of 2008. There was a lot of business going on. And she said the biggest mistake she saw real estate agents and brokers making was not promoting. They just assumed that their business was kaput, and then they just took themselves out of it. They didn't play the game. Okay. So pay attention to the timing. And that could be one of the conversations that we have going on in Light the Grid, right? We could be like, hey, we could check in every now and then. Either I'll do it or you guys do it. Checking the temperature. What do you guys think? Is now a good time for us to start promoting? Or are we, like, what are you guys feeling on this? What are you guys noticing out there? I'd really love it if we keep ourselves updated with our feelers out as people in the coaching industry all over the place. Now, not now. What's the ratio of service to promotion? It's not selfish for us to also want to be making a living, right? And need to be making a living and getting paid for the work that we do. So we're going to go all in on service, super, super hard, and support each other on also having thriving, sustainable, financial coaching practices. Okay, so let's all together do that. Can I get an agreement from everybody that we're going to, I'd love it if we all in that group were like, this is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm sensing. This is not time yet. This is time now. Not time yet. Time now. Okay. Great. Thank you. Talked about this. Okay. People will be holding on to discretionary spending. Businesses will not be hiring people doing trainings and workshops and speaking gigs, clearly, all that kind of stuff. And even though that's the case, the response from us has to be massive action. It's like the opposite. It's counterintuitive. It's like, oh, the whole thing, I guess I got to slow down and be on vacation with my family right now because we're at home and we're playing board games. That's cool, do that. But it's the opposite. Now is massive action time. So if you're doing a Facebook Live once a week, do a Facebook Live every freaking day. Now, I will serve in a way you've never done it before. Okay, cool. One of the most obvious thing that has to happen, that is happening in the industry, if you have a coaching practice that is in it to any degree, based on your activities outside of the house, you're going to have to pivot. Everything is just going to pivot online right now. If you haven't already figured that out, that's what's happening. So everything is moving online. We're lucky because our business can be done online. For some of us, all of it is online. This is what we're doing all day, every day. So for us, this is not a big shift. This is just our regular playhouse. We just get to invite everybody into our regular playhouse. So if you're running live meetups, hey, Marianne, if you're running live meetups, how can you run online meetups, right? Tons of ways. So Erica, I have another resource for you guys as well that I'll give you on how to be really, really good at running experiences for people and workshops and retreats and everything that you were doing there, do here with people, right? Online, pivot online. I was on a call just before this one with my little mastermind tribe, and Helen Appleby, some of you may have seen her leading edge. She's such a baller. I love her so much. She was talking about stats, and like Coursera right now is off the hook. And there's another company that she was talking about. They had like a, they'd be hired by businesses. That part of their business just completely crashed. And then the online part of their business is skyrocketing. So what kind of assets, what kind of offerings can you create right now that you have not yet? Or what are the ones that you already have that you've been sitting on thinking that nobody wants? Now is the time to go all in on digital assets, whatever they are, that you can create for people to deliver value. Because people are going to be learning online. They're online all day. They need something to consume. They are consuming courses right now, a lot. Okay, give them something. What can you create that's really, really fun, right? How can you pivot to online? It's that time. Podcasts. So we had a leading edge thing yesterday on podcasts. You could watch that or find other resources, but that's a really cool way to offer your services, a great way to become visible and to be connecting. Podcasts. That might be a thing that you do. What are the kinds of things that you've always thought, like maybe one day I'll do that, but I don't have time because la la la? Do it. Now's a good time to do it. It's also a really good time to build tribes. So isolation and people feeling lonely, right? Alone in their homes. Like I'm with my boyfriend here in New Haven, and it's really great. I happened to be visiting and this thing happened. So good timing. Instead of being alone in my place in LA, thank God I have a dog. I didn't even have a dog 2 months ago. You may have seen my dog. He's adorable. Thank God for my dog. But there are people who are home alone. Maybe you are too, right? Like we need to feel connected now more than ever and not going through this. So if you don't have a Facebook group, create a Facebook group. Everybody, how are you building your tribe? How are you building that experience of like, we're doing this together, guys. You are not alone. The you are not alone experience. Be the hub, right? Be that lighthouse for your community. Bring the boats in. How can you create that? Maybe it's not a Facebook group. Maybe it's something else. Whatever your version is, go all in on building that tribe and being the safe harbor for anyone that's out there on their own. They need you. Things you can create, memberships, right? So $45 a month, one call with you on Zoom plus the Facebook group and something else, or $100 a month and they get a one-on-one call with you plus the Facebook group plus the Zoom thing, collective, la, 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 la. What are some lower priced offerings that you can create that you might not have already? So when I was speaking with Helen, she was saying, so in terms of executive coaching land, for those of you that are executive coaching, what she's seeing is that HR departments are completely flooded and totally full and completely overwhelmed with COVID-19 things. Trainings are dropping. They're just not hiring. It's just like she's not even going to look at business development in corporations right now. Through that angle. But she's looking at how can I, there is discretionary spending. Some corporations are doing great, right? Look and notice which ones are doing fine right now. Their But Pharma is doing great right now. They're not slowing down. How can you connect with those CEOs personally? Those people will hire you. The business won't pay for that, right? Also, people thinking about making a $29,000 executive coaching decision, not going to happen right now. Most likely, some people will. There will be outliers, but that's not the pricing level. Like people need to figure out what's going on with their portfolios and their housing rates, and too much chaos for that kind of an investment. She could see the writing on the wall on that. However, $1,000 for something, people will pay, right? $45 for something, people will pay. So how can you, take your ego out of it? I'm a $20,000 coach, or whatever your if there's ego or pride involved in your pricing, this isn't the time for that. Can you add something in that more people can do for a lower rate, and go that way? I think that'll really help us right now. Also, call everyone and see how they're doing. Is there anything they need? This is the most perfect, it's like being handed to us on a plate. Connection calls, right? How are you doing right now? Do you need anything? I was thinking about you. How is this all settling for you where you are and your family? Would love to get on a call. If you want to, I'm here for you. This is the moment to send that email. That is not a weird email right now. That is a very welcomed, thank you so much. You're an amazing human being. Thank you for thinking of me. Some people will be overwhelmed and don't have time and they won't answer to you, but you have an in right now to connect with every past client, every potential client, everyone who you were scared to write to because you were for whatever reason. You have the perfect reason to write to them, whether you PM them, text them, whatever it is. Also, do some research, right? Look at your population of your clients. How has what they need changed from what it was that you were offering before? Can you get even more specific on how you serve them? So if you're a relationship coach, right, how can your messaging and how can your things and offerings and values and videos and service and whatever be specific to the times and right now, right? Not overall. So in relationships and business and everything, right? Like, can you do, Erin, who's on the call right here, she did a really super cool, if you go to the Leading Edge, this is a really good time for that right now, actually. If you go to the Leading Edge unit, she did a thing on research, and you only need 5 to 8 people to interview and what kinds of questions to ask to find out exactly what your people need right now. And it's going to be different. And we could do it from a point of like, I think this is what they need, right? I should do this, right? Like, I think this is what coaches need right now. I really should get on the phone with you guys and find out from you what you need right now so I can give it to you. So go find out, do some research, watch Erin's thing, and then go call 5 to 8 people and find out what they need. Okay, be smart. Ubiquitous things. What do people need? Financial planning, financial security, financial creativity. If you are a coach who help people with any kind of thing like that, that's amazing. Everyone needs that right now. Everyone's freaking out about, oh my God, my money, right? So if you could help people get sane and keep their heads on straight and be creative financially about their money, you're golden. You're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you. Okay. Parents, anybody who's a coach that works with parents, all the kids staying home from schools, all of a sudden, there are people running businesses from home, doing home, but they have 3 children that they're also homeschooling at the same time. Besides just being around their children, how to be a great parent, now they got to figure out their lives. If any of you work with parents or know how to help people in that scenario, that is a major pain point right now. I'm hearing from all of my friends and a bunch of my coaching clients who are like trying to run their businesses from home with kids. One's in this room, one's in that room, one's in the other room. Okay. Really need content value around that. Relationships. People are living together, even though they love their people, or maybe they're not in a great relationship. Maybe they're in an abusive relationship. Maybe whatever. They're on top of each other during times of stress. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this lingo, emergent behavior. And it's a interesting coaching tool that you can use sometimes with your clients where you stress them out intentionally. You do something they don't like intentionally, they're not going to like it. You get them angry, you get them defensive, you get them kind of like, you spin them up to see what emerges. People could talk all day long about this is how I am, this is who I am, but you set them up in a stressful situation and then you see how they handle that, and then you know a lot more about them, and then you can work with what's going on there, right? You're gonna have a lot of emergent behavior happening in people's households of like, this is about what we do about the dishes. You know, like, I hate it when you whatever, right? We can't get away from each other. Help people with their relationships. If you work relationships, this is amazing, amazing time for you. I saw a really funny meme on Facebook in terms of that, just a little side note. Ooh, I think my dog wants out of the room. You're gonna have to give me a second. I saw a really funny meme. We hired an imaginary employee. My husband and I both work from home, and we hired an imaginary employee named Cheryl. And we complain all day about Cheryl. We put it all on Cheryl. We hate how Cheryl leaves her cups all over the room. We're not quite sure what to do about her. So it's not like you're on each other, right? It's Cheryl, right? That's like a little how to handle it kind of scenario. Give me 2 seconds to deal with the dog. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Come on, Fluffers. Let's go this way. Good boy. Here you go.
Hi, folks. This is Marcy in the Bay Area. Hi. This is great. Does anyone want to share any sort of aha or takeaway, or yeah, I'm going to focus on that so far from what she's been sharing? Or who would like to? Not does anyone want to, but who would like to share first about that?
I can definitely echo some of the things. Like, this is a great, reaching out to everyone, your clients is what I've been doing, right? And then also offering just big, free, open things that people show up to. And not offering like opportunistic, weird, predatory, paid things. Don't do that.
So there's a lot of resources going around that I'm noticing of like people that work in healthcare, like how can we support those people? Because they are at the front lines very much so. And so I live in New York. I've already gotten an email and have signed up for just kind of on-call support and you don't need to be a therapist, but therapists are welcome, coaches are welcome, healers are welcome, like if you do Reiki or any kind of energy work, for the people that are like really in it right now. And like my brother-in-law is a surgeon at a hospital in New York, and like we're the and will remain the highest hit like area in all of the country. And he said on Tuesday there were 24 inpatient cases at his hospital, and by yesterday there were 158 inpatient, and that's just at one hospital in New York. And so everybody has redirected all of their resources towards that, and so like of every hospital. So I think like those people, if you have any way to get in touch with them, to serve your ass off for them, because we're going to need them as we kind of go up this bell curve, and their strength is going to be really important. So if we can as a community use our tools and what we've trained to do, to like serve your ass off to them, that would be an amazing, like if you can look at your communities and like see if there's resources for that already in place that you can sign up for. Just a suggestion.
That's a great idea, Amy. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Amy, did you say that you are working with somebody that's doing energy work and a collective that you're joining? Did I hear that?
Yeah, so there's a group in New York. I can send the resource that is like geared towards the New York hospitals. So Christina, maybe I can do that after the call, and if you want to disseminate it, or do you want me to put it on anywhere specifically?
Okay. That's a good question. Let me think on that, because I think there'll be others. I think there's let me feel into what's here, and then we'll organize how we can all, maybe there'll be a post on like resources for all and in the comments we can all do that. I'll create a in the unit resources for COVID-19 specific stuff.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, back. Okay. Fitness coaches, training sessions online, health coaches, all the health things, immunity things, right? People are really thinking about their health right now. There's going to be people who are like, I just lost my job. I can't count on my corporation. I just got whatever severance package. I want to be an entrepreneur. I think there are going to be a lot of people making that shift. So if you help people become their own boss, right? And people who haven't before, but now realize they need to count on their own resilience and their own creativity and productivity. I think that's a really good place that you can serve and support. And I kind of went over all the other ones. Have fun with it. So that's my last point really in terms of mind study stuff is there's the doom and gloom and the seriousness of it, and you can't pretend that it isn't. So you have to honor that, but also light and fun, right? We want to see the cat and the dog photos. We need them more than ever, but whatever it is and how you do your messaging, you want people to take you seriously. So show your authority and have the gravity that's necessary, but then be that place that they can like have a moment of respite, right? Like uplift the spirits, really be, if we're going to be the light bugs, be a light bug, right? How do you do that? How do you make it fun? So, wine salons, hold your Zoom cafes and wine salons and fun little challenges that people can be doing online, that even though you're serving with value, you're doing it in a way that feels good. Help people feel good. And for you yourself, remember we were talking earlier and people kind of put up their hands? This is sort of thrilling, right? Have fun. How can we have this be fun? Right? We can have it be serious. We can have it be fun. How can you create offerings that are fun for you to do, right? This isn't like, oh my God, I got so much work now, right? Instead of like, I get to. So be creative. You're out of the box is allowed. Like this is the time to get super crazy fun creative. Have fun. In terms of resources, I'm going to put these 3 for you guys. One is the manifesto. I'll put a picture to that. If that speaks to you, use it with your people, whatever, have it be inspiring. Another one is a podcast that Mark Silverman did just the other week. He posted it with a guy named Mark, I forget his name, Bannon or something with a B. Mark something with a B, who wrote a book called The Beautiful Constraint. I'll put the link to that podcast. I highly recommend you get this book. Also, Anti-Fragile is a really good book for right now to read and to have for your people. How to deal with chaos and how to be, the eye of the storm. But A Beautiful Constraint, in there, he has a really cool process on how to shift your place of being and then how to ask yourself questions and what types of thinking and questions to come up with really good solutions when stuff is crazy. So I'll have that link for you. And the other is a woman named Amelia. I forget her last name. I should know it, but I know her. She is a positive psychology person who has her own institute now, where she trains coaches and whatnot. And she did this 4-hour-long workshop on how to run online experiences. So for those of you who are new to Zoom and for those of you who want ideas on what kinds of activities and what kinds of things you could do with people, that is more than just talking one-on-one on Zoom like this. It's a 4-hour thing. I'll put the link to that. I think it's going to be, different than what Erica here has to offer. So yeah, experiences and fun through this kind of online system now that a lot of us, we all have to go on, how to win at that, right? How to be super, super, super masterful at that. Do I have anything else? I think that's all I got. That is all I got. Those are my thoughts at the moment. So I'm going to open up the space. There are now 2 pages. So now, Erica, I've never done this before with 2 pages of people on the thing. What is your best suggestion?
I'll show you how to change it so you can see everybody. You want to see a text thing? So do you want to see, I'll show you guys real quick how you can see everybody on your screen.
Oh yeah.
So I'll share my screen. You'll see all of you. There's a lot of settings. If you go up to your Zoom, and then you go to preferences,
Okay.
and then this thing will pop up, and then you go to video,
Yep.
and then see this last box down here, display up to 49. So that's as many people as you can have on gallery view.
Okay.
And the other important setting here is
It's
this one,
touch on my
which is your
appearance.
appearance. Check it out. Look, it's like Disney's your face. Anyway.
It's awesome.
And there's all kinds of other settings in here,
And
obviously,
preferences
that are useful to go through.
Okay, let me do that. Hold on. So, okay. So, ooh, learning.
Then
So Zoom, preferences,
video.
video.
So everyone can do that. So you can see
Display. We
everybody,
could all
as many
see
people
everybody.
as possible at once. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Nailed it. Wait, is that really 49? Oh, that's okay. Wonderful. So we're all here together, all 28 of us.
Would you like to send people into small groups to
No.
talk for a little bit? Okay.
Not really. No. There's not. It's fine. We're good. Who's got something?
Christina, could we take a moment to have her show us how to do that? Because I have not been able to find that. How to separate.
Okay, great. Can we do a little lesson on breakout groups on Zoom calls?
Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. You're on mute now.
You have to make me the host because you only one person can do breakout rooms, and
Okay.
and co-host can't do breakout rooms. You would have to actually pass it all over to me.
Okay.
And I promise I'll give it back.
Okay, you got it. You're
But
the host.
co-host, here's something really cool. Co-host can make breakout rooms within breakout rooms once you're in there. So I'm going to share the screen. So you
How do we make somebody the host or not the host?
I'll show you. You click on, so you should be seeing my screen now. You click on participants, and then you can hover over them now.
More?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
More.
that's more. There we go, because I can't look at myself, right? So then on more, and then these are the things I can do. I could make her the host again, right? I could allow her to record. You can rename yourself. You can also rename yourself just by hovering over the 3 dots in the corner. Hover over your little square, and on the 3 dots there, you can rename yourself there too, which is nice to do. Breakout rooms are amazing. Now they're available in the free Zoom, but you might need to go through your settings to enable breakout rooms, also polling. There's all kinds of things you can enable. Once you've got them enabled, you see here on the bottom, there's this looks like 4 squares. It says breakout room. That's what you wanted me to show you, right?
Yeah, so we go to preferences again for doing that?
No.
It's not within preferences to enable breakout rooms. You can't do it when you're already on a call, as far as I know. So we're already on this call, and you're not going to see it anyway unless Christina gave you hosting. I'm just showing you what it looks like if you are the host.
It's the 4 squares at the bottom of the screen that only show up when you're the host. So
right, you can't see it right now. So I'm just showing you what it looks like if you were the host. So you can see, you can't see where you see these other controls like muting and videos. When you are the host, you can do breakout rooms.
So that automatically comes up. I feel like I've never seen that on my.
You might have to go into your settings.
Okay.
Into your settings when you're not on a Zoom call, and just go into settings, general settings, and just look down a long list of things you might be able to do that you don't realize you can do. So breakout rooms is something, and so you can click on breakout rooms.
Be also related to the version of Zoom you are using.
Yeah, they're a free thing. They've been around for a while. So here's what I can do in here. I can change the number of breakout rooms, and you can see at the bottom of the screen, you can see it's changing how many people are going to be in each room.
Great.
That's automatically, or manually, I could like move everybody around. Now, this is what's surprising in breakout rooms. I'm going to click create breakout rooms, and it's not going to send you to breakout rooms. It's going to give you more options. If I click create breakout rooms, now I can see who's in all the rooms, and I click on this options, and I can check these settings to say, hey, I'm going to move everybody to breakout rooms automatically. You've probably been on Zoom calls where they have to like, oh, you're invited to join this room. But if you want more like control, you can just force it, and then they just go away. And then you can also, this is also really helpful, you can change the countdown timer. So instead of it being a whole minute, which is the default, you can change it to like 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So then, and those settings will save as default.
Okay.
So that's really helpful.
What does that mean? The countdown after?
So if I sent you into breakout rooms and then I hit end breakout rooms, everyone would see a countdown timer that's like, you're going to come back in the main session in, a minute or in 30 seconds or in 10 seconds.
Like you have 15 seconds to wrap up your share.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'll just show you one more thing. Is so if I open these rooms, another thing to know about breakout rooms that's really nice is the host can send the same people back into the same rooms with each other, which is really nice. And of course, you have a lot of controls. Like I can move somebody to a different breakout room. If I know like, oh, I want these people together, don't want those people together, you can kind of micromanage that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also do that after they're already in the room.
Okay.
All right, is that helpful? Is that what you wanted me to show, Christina?
Yeah, that was really sweet. I've never seen that before. That's great. We're all going to be doing a lot.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a call that just goes through a lot of this stuff and a lot of like how to be super interactive and, on Zoom calls. So I can post that in the group of when I have that invite ready, probably on Monday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time.
That would be amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Yay. Wonderful. So I want to open the floor. I'm not going to structure this and like, now we're talking about this, now we're talking about that. I know you are all leaders and you all have great things to say and great ideas. Put your hand up or jump in, however you want to do that. What do you got for us? How can we win? Help us all win. What are your thoughts? Nuno.
I don't know if my internet is good because I'm kind of hacking internet. I think the main thing I discovered this week is that at the moment, big decisions actually will be easy. I can give the example. I've been living in Dublin for 14 years, and in a matter of one day, I change over everything to Lisbon. So I shift everything from one country to another one. And I was kind of holding on that decision, but my parents need me here because they are a really risk group. If one gets sick, probably two of them will die. So it was like, there's no second guessing at the moment because you don't know what your actions will take. So in a matter of 24 hours, I pack everything in Dublin, left boxes, put the most important thing, and I'm here. I'm in quarantine at the moment, but I'm in a different country. So any decisions that we normally will hold on live about how to go about coaching, now you can just decide because at the end of the day, you cannot even guess what the consequences. The only one that you know is if you don't do anything, at the end of the road, you will not win. And I think that's the main thing. Big decisions now are easy.
Thank you. That's a really good point. I had not thought of that. You're right. You're right. Nella?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of think of mindset, and you mentioned that we are all been training for this, but I put it in the chat, and I think it's important to understand that although we were training for this, we don't know if this is it, if this is not another part of the training. So we don't know what's coming in the future. And so to think about this period of time, not only as now we're going to just show up and nail it, but also to see that it is a learning opportunity for, we don't know what's coming, and how we're going to need to step up in the future. That this also could be a learning ground.
Totally. Absolutely.
And so just shifting attention from our points of concern to our points of influence, to points where attention is our most intimate power.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it to what and how we can influence in our life, in our families' lives, and in the world today. And this is, for me, being kind of focus. And the other thing you were mentioning, Christina, that we are going to check with each other on timing, on when is it appropriate to create this offer or to promote this offer. that you may be holding back from, or we are holding back from right now. And I'm thinking we need to also check with each other on the offer itself, because something that we were offering before may not be feeling good anymore to people, even when time is appropriate.
Absolutely. You absolutely can do that. So anything you have that you're offering people and you're questioning, like, does this resonate? Does this feel good? What do you guys think? Don't hesitate to post it in the group and ask.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to contribute.
Great.
Okay. So a client said to me the other day that the best piece of business advice he ever got was never let a crisis go to waste. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you, because I think that that is a perspective that you can all put on and that I have immediately adopted, in the sense of like, okay, like Nella was just saying, you know, where is this a learning experience? How can we continue to adapt and grow and learn? And also, that is part of not letting this crisis go to waste, because this is a huge opportunity for, like Christina was saying, like to rewrite all the rules. Like we are reframing everything now. And how do you want to do it for you? How do you want to do it for your clients? How do you want to do that for a greater society? You know, this is all, we're living in a big question mark right now, in so many ways. And so, you know, what do we do best? Like we help people come to a place where they know the answer, and then it doesn't need to be a question mark anymore, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Also, hi, Christina. Nice to see you.
Something I omitted to say. So Natasha, she's on your screen. She's sitting there on a couch with a lovely gentleman beside her. She's the lovely blonde over there. Say hi, Natasha. Hi, guys. Yay. She was all like in person, everything. And now she has to do the big pivot to, oh my God, I got to do online stuff. I'm sorry, I'm just talking about you like you gave me permission. But I think you kind of did. And she did a really cool thing. She wrote a letter. She's created a letter where she's reaching out now to Soho House, where she would have been going every day, or the co-working space, etc. She gave me permission. I'm going to add that in as a resource for you guys, how she wrote this letter. It's really vulnerable. It's really speaking to the times, and she's offering one-on-one coaching to any of their people. So you can reach out to all sorts of organizations and be the resource that they have to offer their people by offering one-on-one coaching to people. So you'll see her letter. Please read it. She hit the tone perfectly for the time right now. Model it, use it. Absolutely reach out. So thank you, Natasha, for letting us see your amazing work. And I'd like to ask for all of you, if you have things like that you're using to reach out, what is the wording? What is the language that you're using at this time? It's really cool for us all to see what you're doing. Or what do you guys think of this message? Is this awkward, or am I nailing this, right? Okay, cool. Anyone else? Anything you're seeing?
Hi, this is Marcy.
Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Christina.
Oh my
Hi,
God,
everyone.
Marcy.
I'm really grateful to be on this call. So grateful.
Great you're here.
It's interesting. I'm noticing that I'm there are moments where I just feel like I'm divinely guided where I end up on Facebook and what resource I happen to see. And then I'm just being like, oh yes, that's right. Okay, be there. Two things. I was on a training call the other day, and they were really talking about in our Facebook groups, like creating, you know, what they call gamification. I mean, maybe that's already a term in the coaching sphere that I'm not aware of, but you know, to get people really responding. But one of the things, it's just not like, oh, just, you know, go post a photo of the favorite food you ate in the last 3 days that you took a picture of, or your, you know, whatever it is. And then also go and respond to 3 other people. And, you know, so that you encourage the interactivity that people are needing more than ever right now. And then you can, you know, when you're posting your your game. I mean, maybe this is something that we could vet on the group as well, to both for the content of it and the clarity of it. So, you know, what you want them to do, including responding to other people in the group to create more tribe connection, and then like what they'll win, you know, could be, you know, a virtual VIP day or,
Right.
So yeah, that's one thing I have to offer. And then a question I have is, so I've had a page from one of my businesses that I haven't really worked, and I really want to create a Facebook group now. And I've always struggled with like what my niche is and exactly the services. I do a multiple number of things, which in the last few months I've actually embraced instead of feeling shameful about that. But now I want to jump in with a group, and I have a couple of ideas of names, but it's kind of like, I feel like I just want to seize the moment and not be a perfectionist about it.
Totally don't, because you could change the name of the group. You can change the name of a group every 28 days or something. Make sure that the name is searchable, so that if the group's about cooking, put the word cooking in it. My group's about coaches, the word coaches is in it. If it's for entrepreneurs, put entrepreneur. So don't just use the metaphor of the lighthouse. That would not be helpful if I had a group that said that, right? So it's got to, so because people are going to search coach, or they're going to search cooking, or they're going to search whatever. Other than that, you can change it every 28 days. It's better to go and tweak later as it becomes clearer and clearer to you. It's really not a big deal. And also why don't you create a poll within Light the Grid asking us, here's the 2 things I was thinking, what do you guys think? And then we could get a vote for you.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
That'd be great. I really want to encourage, like what I'm feeling right now is really wanting to encourage all of us to use this community as a resource, because I think we can really be there for each other. Like, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? Along with, hey, this is what I just noticed, or hey, this is what I'm learning, or hey, this is what I'm seeing out there. It'd be really cool for us to be able to help each other have a sense.
I would like to be a resource for anybody that wants any support, coaching around Facebook Lives. I've like deflowered a number of people from like not doing Facebook Lives to doing them. So I'd be happy to support you there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Any offers you have like that? Usually I'm like, no offering, because don't poach in my pond. But right now, anything you got that can help coaches, bring it. We want you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Marcy. I might need that.
Yeah, glad to. You know, and then how can we just continuously get smarter doing all, you know, just running with these skills?
Absolutely. Yeah. Should we create a hashtag maybe? Instead of having one post thread and then everyone puts the comment underneath, maybe all of these offers can be their own post, but then there's a hashtag. So we all know we're kind of like, this is what we're doing right now.
Christina, maybe you could do something like this on Facebook Lives with Marsha. Just all of us meet and Marsha deflowers everybody at the same time.
Yeah, we could do a Zoom and then maybe run it live to Facebook.
And then maybe not just for that content, but anybody else has anything to bring, we could maybe, you know, make a badge of those things that we're looking for. Like, for example,
yeah.
You know, maybe Erica could show us something.
Yeah, I don't think hashtag offer Erica, because that could be kind of like, here's my coaching group. That's a little bit too promotion-y. I wanted to be specific to Corona.
How about coaches for Corona, or coaches light up Corona?
How about Corona resources? Or
too general.
Too general.
It's not just about Corona, right? I mean, what's the distinction you're making? Like, what do you want people to be doing that maybe they weren't doing otherwise?
Support through interesting times.
Crisis survival tips for coach. That's too long.
No, yeah.
What about serving COVID?
How about surfing the wave?
What about serving COVID?
Be the antivirus.
I don't think we should put. I don't
Is
think we
this
should.
a temporary hashtag or like a permanent hashtag? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Be of service.
Be of service. No, it's not service generally. It's really
I
about
like
us
surfing the
resourcing.
wave. I think
How
surfing
about this? How about this? Resourcing each other.
Okay, yeah.
Coaches
Okay,
of
so the
service, there's
free
nothing
offers.
right now, no posts right now for
Say that
coaches
again?
of service.
Okay, I'll think about it. Let me think about it. I don't want, it's, yeah. You know, guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so watch out for my announcement on, and I'll put, because I know y'all been on the thing and the recording, and I'll post it under the recording, and I'll post its own thing about like how to, I'll gather the resources and what's the hashtag and how to go about all of the things that you have to offer to help other coaches and how we're going to talk about this in a way that is congruent and makes sense. So stay tuned. Cool. Anyone else? Anything else? I know it feels really good. Oh, Beja. Basia? How do I say your name? I'm not sure.
It's Basha.
Basha. Okay, great.
Yeah, I just want to say something. Maybe it's a little bit counterintuitive because we're all talking about like how to support people in crisis because we're thinking that everyone actually freaks out. So I have I want to share an example. I actually extended a coaching contract with my client today by 3 months, and I was actually on a call with her, and I was like 99% sure that she's not going to do it because of this. And actually she really surprised me. She said, I'm actually not freaking out about it. I'm taking this as opportunity to work on myself because what else can I do right now? And she's like, yes, well, I wanted to work on my business and there are things that I can't do, but we can think about the ways kind of behind the scenes. And also I can work on my personal stuff. And her passion project is writing. She's an author, and she started writing a book, and she's now like just wanting to do more of it and other things. So I think it's like great not to just assume that everyone as a population is freaking out, because there might be people who are kind of calm about it.
You know what just came to me as you were talking? How grid support. Love it. Yes, that's it. Wait, I'm gonna make myself a little note. So we're gonna do grid support, and then I want to, okay, I want there to be a second thing that we're gonna do. Can we all commit together to doing this? What you just did, Basha, right there, helps my mental state a lot in my own limited thinking about this. I got a client, hashtag I got a client, or like you put that on the top of the title of your thing. Every time you get a client, can you stick it in the group that you got a client? I think everybody needs to know that coaches are getting clients right now. Morale, you know, like my morale just went, oh, she got a client, I can get a client.
Yeah,
right?
my client just, we didn't even have a discussion. He just sent me money.
That's great.
Completely surprised. So he just paid in advance so that I don't even think about it. And then he said, can we meet this weekend? And I'm like, yeah. So we didn't have a discussion whether or not it's going to continue.
That's
so
awesome.
He didn't lose his job. So his life is pretty much financially the same. So
that's wonderful. So every example that you have, that you come across where coaches are getting clients, and I got a client and my other person got a client, and I know someone who got a client, and this is what's going on out there, share that. That is so valuable right now for everybody, really, yeah.
I was on this training, this online training, as I mentioned, and people were posting all sorts of, like, they just had a launch, a $50,000 launch. There was a lot of business that was still happening, and people were signing up for that course that the whole training was, you know, in support. Great. It was actually designed to be an in-person. This is an interesting thing, and an in-person 3-day kind of launch free event. And they had so much online productivity like systems already in place that they were able to pivot it as a team and offer a 3-day virtual training, and they're making sales. And what I saw them do is that they shifted, you know, they made this kind of, it was a group training, a group offer of the program, but they didn't mention any pricing. And then they were scheduling one-on-one coaching for each person to then talk about their specific needs and visions and talk pricing and appropriate entry level for what, you know, which program to put them in. I don't yet offer a group program, but maybe that might be useful for you, Christina. Well, yeah. I did want to ask, so I was meeting around closing and when to make appropriate, like when to make the proposal. I was meeting with a woman, we had 2 meetings, one in person. She was profoundly impacted and she was asking costs then. And I didn't want to go into it. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this sort of slow drip thing to build more value. We had another meeting on Zoom. Then we were going to do a 3rd meeting in person today, actually, with her and her husband, which she canceled because she's like in such a, like, I don't know what I need coaching and what I need right now. But I think what it is, my question in this is like, that having that sensitivity and when to make the proposal, when to talk to the money, and
you're gonna
if
have to
asking,
figure it out. So the thing that's,
then go into it.
The thing that's tricky right now is that because of the moving thing, it's like I had a second appointment with somebody last week where it was like I was going to make the proposal, but then they canceled that call because the changing landscape of everything. And it was really clear to me that if they had said yes to me and then all of a sudden the bottom fell out of their world, they would have had such terrible buyer's remorse. So I could have been like, oh, I could have like strategically, if I had proposed that week, I would have gotten a yes, but now it's too late and I missed my opportunity because now la la la. But that's okay. That's totally an integrity. When you get their yes, you want their yes to be real for whatever their situation really is before their bottom falls out. I honestly don't think that there's a right answer for what you're asking. It's a case by case. Let your intuition guide you and be careful noticing, is it you yourself holding back because you're judging or projecting, or is it truly not the right time right now for this human being?
What I do, I mean, you did, somebody did say something on this call that just the reaching out to her just to check in, like now she's cooped up with her husband who she's actually a little bit terrified of. Like, how can I support her as she navigates being around him more?
That's the thing. If anybody has any know-how on how to support people who are living in domestic violence, sort of scary scenarios, who now all of a sudden are cooped up in a maybe dangerous scenario. I know somebody who's in that scenario and I honestly do not have the resources to help her. I don't know.
Yeah, this is not like that. It's more that she's, had a lot of childhood trauma, so he triggers
okay,
her.
yeah. But besides that, like if this is, I'm just saying, if this is something I'm seeing out there, if y'all have resources for that, I'd like to know that to give to my client, but also like look for that,
Christina,
because that population really needs support right now. Yeah.
Hey, Amy? Just so you know, there's Everytown for gun safety. They have it says co-quarantine with an abuser, and then they have a reach out information. So if you go on their Instagram, it's right there. There's a phone number and a hotline, like email us too.
Cool. Can you send me a thing? Because I won't remember that right now, but can you send me a quick, thank you. That's awesome.
I'm going to just take a screenshot and send it to you.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Maybe put it in the group too, because we'll come across that.
And when you say group, you mean Coaches Like the Grid, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not so on the Facebooks and stuff.
Coaches Like the Grid.
I think, Christina, if I could share something, the state of flow, it's when we feel the best and we perform our best, has actually four stages of flow. And the first one, unavoidably, is struggle. Mm-hmm. You can't get into flow without going through struggle. And so struggle right now, if we came off this call and we all went and started struggling about how can I pivot, how can I serve, how can we, and then you release it. Basically, second stage is release. So you need to forget about it, go for a walk, watch a movie. Oh no, watch a movie is not going to work. Actually, the only activity that doesn't work is watching something. But any kind of activity that takes your mind off of that struggle is a release. And then you go into flow when you feel your best and perform your best. And this is where if you give yourself like 90 to 120 minutes a time to focus. You could be very productive. The next stage that doesn't feel good, really doesn't feel good, is when you come off, and it's a recovery stage. But I just want to warn you, when you come off of this, because and you're not going to feel good, don't take it too seriously. You just used up too many good feel-good neurochemicals. So just relax and sit still within that. And if you don't fight it, you'll actually learn a lot. It's very productive stage if you don't fight it. It doesn't feel good, but it's very productive. And right now, in what we're in, we're going to be going through those stages. So don't assign any kind of crazy meanings to them. So I feel it's good to know that, oh, I'm in recovery, I need recovery. Or, oh, I'm in the release state. Just consciously go through those stages. You're going to be able to reap a lot of benefits from it.
Thank you. I have to go very, 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 very soon. This dog is about to completely die over here. Is there anyone else? Anything else at the moment? Questions? Thoughts? Okay, so we're gonna have our hashtag. Stay tuned for where we're gonna take it from here. I really would love to, I'm putting out the thing. Let's all support each other. Mega support each other. We have totally got this, like we are a movement of light bringers onto that grid. Let's really show up for the world in brand new, bright new ways, and let this experience call you into your next level of power in the world. I love you all so much. I love
you. So come on, say thank you. I want a group hello, goodbye.
Thank you.
Hello, group. Goodbye. Come on in. Say, I want to hear you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Christina, for doing this.
Thank you, Christina.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See you on the grid. Bye.